What's going on, guys? This is another video for the super middleweight tournament. Carl Froch versus Andre the Matrix Dirrell. You know, when I first heard the Matrix, I said to myself, why are they calling this guy the Matrix? Then I started putting two and two together. You know, the agents in the Matrix was pretty fast. It was neat, just like Neo. They were dodging bullets. They had hand speed. Dirrell got the nickname for good reason. Dude got hand speed, man. His hands is blazing fast. Almost reminiscent of Roy Jones Jr. when he was a middleweight. I got to give the edge to Roy Jones, though, you know, slightly. But just to be mentioned in there with Roy Jones, man, that's something special. No, he's not faster than Roy Jones. I had to say that because God's going to be like, he ain't faster than Roy Jones. But Carl Froch, that's a big super middleweight. I think he's the bigger puncher of the two. You know, he landed that right hand, especially in that right hand. His boxing skills, not impressed. You know, yeah, you can fight 12 rounds because the tempo isn't that high. The tempo, the pace of the fight isn't that high. It's not. Andre Dirrell fights at a much faster pace than I think Carl Froch will be used to. I looked at Carl Froch's record. I'm not impressed. I mean, not his record, excuse me. His level of competition that he had, I'm not impressed. Not impressed at all. And then when you put a guy like Jermaine Taylor, to me, Jermaine Taylor was winning that fight up until the knockout, and only because Jermaine Taylor deteriorates after 4 or 5 rounds, he starts going downhill. Had he had stamina, like if he was in good shape, like your man Mayweather or Roy Jones in his prime, and people, or Bernard Hopkins in their prime, people like that, he would have took Carl Froch out, no problem. But Carl Froch did what he was supposed to do, you know, knocked him out. You're getting tired, you got to take advantage. You got to take advantages of somebody's weaknesses, and he did it. That's what he did. Andre Dirrell has way superior boxing skills than Carl Froch. I think Carl Froch's defense is a little bit better than Andre Dirrell. What I don't like about Andre Dirrell is he's wild. You can't be wild all the time, especially against I got to see how Carl Froch responds to the hand speed. If he doesn't respond very well, he can be getting his head whooped up like a pinata all night, and they will stop the fight. TKO. Yes, I said it. But I do think it will go. I think it will be a unanimous decision by Andre Dirrell. But don't be surprised if Andre Dirrell stops him. But let me say something about Andre Dirrell that I don't like. Dude has balance issues because he's so wild. Balance issues like Prince Nassim Hamed. I mean, he's too wild, and then it's like he like when he gets into a fight, he really has no game plan. He don't know what he want to do when he hears that ding. He gets out there and he's just like whatever, you know. He just fighting. That's one of his main problems. But dude has a lot of athletic ability and he's very talented. I don't think Carl Froch will be enough to Dirrell him. You know, I see Andre getting past Carl Froch pretty easily. A lot of people is going to get mad at me because a lot of people think Carl Froch is going to win this fight. Sorry, I don't. Just my opinion, I don't. So I got Andre Dirrell winning this fight. I was going to say something else. Oh yeah, Andre Dirrell, man, another thing that he does, he can fight southpaw. He can go southpaw, he can go back and forth. And I think that southpaw stance is going to present a lot of problems for Carl Froch. Carl Froch, over the course of a fight, because he can't fight 12 rounds, and Andre Dirrell has never fought really 12 rounds. Not to say that he can't, because I've never seen a man get tired, and he throws a lot of punches. Way more punches than Carl Froch throws. And he's more of an up-tempo fighter than Carl Froch. But if Carl Froch tries to press him, Andre Dirrell has a habit of throwing hooks, hitting you on either side of your head and turning you. turning his body to wing around you to get back into the center of the ring. Carl Froch doesn't do, his activity rate is not that high in the center of the ring. It's not. So, I do think that him going back and forth and Darrell being able to fight going backwards is going to be an advantage. But I think that hand speed is going to present a problem for Carl Froch. I really do. You know, yeah, you can pray that, people can pray that he connects Darrell because Darrell comes out, you know, when he throws punches and he leaves his chin open, you know, but Darrell has a decent chin too. You know, and he has good footwork. Don't get him not having good footwork confused with being having balance issues. He gets balance because he fights wildly and he's trying to move and get all out of there because his defense is his defense. I don't like his defense as much. I like Carl Froch's defense. Carl Froch, man, he's just solid. He's a solid guy. This is going to be a test to Andre Darrell because, like I say, he's never been really tested. But at the same time, if you look at Carl Froch, his opponents are not that great. And you throw my man Jermaine Taylor in front of him. He didn't impress me until Jermaine Taylor, he got tired. But everybody looks good against Jermaine Taylor once Jermaine Taylor is wheezing. He's not Jermaine Taylor's a sprinter, not a marathon runner. Shout out to my man Naptown. I like your videos, bro. Keep doing your thing. But my next video I'm going to have to do against Mikael Kessler and Andre Ward. And, I got to put up what I think is going to happen. You guys can leave comments. Tell me what you think about this. And we're going to see next weekend because this fight is happening, on the 17th? Carl Froch. It's going to be a good fight. Don't get me wrong. But I think if Carl Froch can't get past that hand speed, because hand speed, and like I say, leaves you mesmerized. It does. Both of them, and Carl Froch drops his hands, and I think you should not drop. Both of them drop their hands, but I think fighters that are fast can get away with it, like your Floyd Mayweathers and your Roy Joneses and your Andre Darrells. But Carl Froch better not be dropping that left hand like he does. Oh, another thing that Carl Froch does that I don't like about him is he does like Jermaine Taylor. He'll throw that jab out. He kind of cocks his right hand. He telegraphs a lot of shots. But anyway, I got Andre Darrell.